We don't have any candidates of color in the runoff. We also know it's our minority communities that are bearing the brunt of the effects of climate change in Denver, health disparities in Denver. As mayor, how do you plan to represent these communities but also build a trust with them? Mr. Johnston.
I think this is a really important question, and I'm proud of the fact that I've had the chance to represent them already and to do this work shoulder to shoulder. As you know, I was first elected to the state Senate, and I represented what was a historically black district in Northeast Denver. So when I was elected, I knew the most important thing to do was to make sure I was deeply connected to that community and available and accessible for them to be able to reach me. So I opened a community office in North Park Hill in the Holly. I was there for 10 years. At that point, I was the only legislator who had a community office, but I thought it was important because I knew that I wanted to be in close community with the people who wanted to have their voices heard and made sure we could bring legislation to the Capitol that served them. The same thing was true when I was a school principal and represented a community of people that were many of them immigrants from Mexico and Guatemala who felt like they didn't have a voice in this country and wanted to know how they could pursue the American dream. And our effort to help make sure those young people could actually get access to college, and then going to the Senate to change the law to make sure those dreamers could pursue their dreams and get to college and get a job, has been a huge part of my service. I think my entire life over the last 25 years since I got out of college has been serving communities that have been underrepresented and making sure we elevate their voices and make sure those voices get heard. That's what I've done my whole life, and that's what I would do as the mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Brough?
Yeah, I want to start by just sharing a little about how relevant this question is, starting with my personal life. I married my high school sweetheart in Montana. Mike was indigenous, and we came to Denver because Montana was a tough place for a mixed race couple in the 1980s, and Denver embraced us. Our girls are mixed race as well, and for me what that meant is I understood at a very young age the privilege I have as a white woman. And I think that changed my view in every single job I have ever held and how I do the work I do. So for me, not only did I have to teach a daughter how not to internalize some of the race issues she would face, but I also then devoted myself at work to make sure my teams were diverse, my boards are diverse, my relationships, the work I do engages community, never assuming I know the answer, but engaging people to help identify how best to address the challenges and issues. I've not only done that in my work throughout my life, but in my campaign, and you'll see me do that as mayor.